Hi friends, host Eric here, showing you the Bubbles Pet and Supply sign. Pretty old school. Not so much anymore what it once was. That's going to bring me tonight to the topic of this video, which is an allegory, how an identity build, the growth of an individual from an infant to a fully realized version of self, whether it's ideal or not, is very much like the growth of a city. We begin with childish values, and we build childish things. That doesn't mean they're not super cool.
Talking with famous people.
This is La Cita, Mexican restaurant, and gifts. This old neon has some parts of it still working, and some parts not so much. The store appears to be operational, though not open at the moment. Certainly the effort was made to reinvent this town into what it once was. But for the most part, it doesn't appear to have worked. When we were kids, it was all about having the coolest bike, having the right handlebars and the right kind of seat, not a sissy bar. And then people got cars, and having the coolest bike didn't work anymore. This here Sweet Stop used to be a donut shop, but no more. An old school Chinese restaurant, back when China was all red lanterns and dragons. Across the way, the Roadrunner Lodge, refurbished, revitalized, and out of business. The Motel Safari didn't make it. No lights, no business. American owned. Bet that's code for white people. That wide open office, I bet, has a lot to do with the fact that this motel, at least, has a reasonable number of guests. When I was younger, it was all about hiding my deficiencies. Like the Palomino Motel over there. If I could just hide my deficiencies, maybe someone would give me the benefit of the doubt. I didn't understand what it meant to choose instead of hope you didn't have to. Dell's has been here since 1956, but it's a restaurant. And the neon hasn't been here since 1956, I bet. Right next door, though, the Tucumcari Inn. People haven't parked here in a while. This town at one point really thought it had it all figured out. The angle, the theme. A failure of human beings to understand that it's always responsiveness to something. Possible even to say what that sign once said. But the street is still known as Main Street. Like people, a city reaches a stage of power. It seems the formula has been figured out, but those are now apartments, not a motel anymore. And whatever dreams this second Main Avenue once had have long ago been reduced. Once the Sun Air Apartments was a smart living spot for upward professionals. Now it's a crack-dripping hellhole. That was once something, and that was once something. There once stood an antique shop, and there another gas station. This was once a road that had endless garages and service stations. After all, there once was but one way west, Route 66. Never really quite understood what had made it work. It wasn't the futuristic theme or the retro theme. It was the people and their willingness to buy in. Home quality food, drive-in. Not so much anymore. We know what we once were and hate what we've become. In the end, we have to find something real. Not just something we believe, not just a cool old Spanish style building, That's not going to make your church successful. We might hang on despite ourselves. La Potpourri Fashions and Margie's Beauty Salon. Big Ford country. No Fords left. The bungalows looking fairly shabby. Get it so right they can withstand anything. Except the wrong street. No one walks these shops at night enjoying cappuccinos and jazz bands. Because we outgrow our natures and have to replace them. Furniture Depot Plus needed a couple more pluses. Lionel's Barbershop, on the other hand, a classic that hangs on. The Odeon, a movie theater still in business. Town's put in some effort. These murals didn't paint themselves, but neither did they keep that place in business. And there's just not that brisk a trade in vacuums. A great old brick building, a wonderful sign on it, still encouraging ghosts to experience a downtown, the bustling local life of a city that earned its money on the tourist trade, to a country that had no other way west but via Route 66. When you're in high school and you figure out the way to be cool is to wear those big things in your ears, that's a blind kind of faith indeed. What's required is what's required. And more often than not, there's absolutely no indication whatsoever from the past as to what's necessary right now. The cool old motor lodge vibe. Well, even an ENTP like host Eric, a quirky endeavor like talking with Finnish people, chose the Holiday Inn Express.
Talking with famous people.